Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures are up across the board. Now, they have been up since after the market closed on Tuesday. So we had a very bearish close on Tuesday. Some news came out after hours. It popped the market, and the market's been holding these levels ever since. So there hasn't been a lot of volatility overnight. Now, we do have a lot of economic numbers coming out today, but none that significant until you get to the energy inventories at 10:30 this morning. Now, Tuesday was a very negative day for the overall market, but it was actually in percentage terms led lower by U.S. financials. And the U.S. financials generated a buy signal on Friday. On Monday, we saw a small pullback, and then on Tuesday, it all rolled over. Now, U.S. banks, U.S. regional banks were already on a sell signal coming into Tuesday's trading action. American Express was down sharply yesterday. It came into Tuesday already on a sell signal, so no change in trend. No change in trend for the broker dealers. It came down. We've filled the gap from early January. And so this could be a starting point, but we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, anytime that you've got downward movement like this, the first thing I want to see is a close above the previous day's high. That tells you something that the tone of the market may be starting to change. Otherwise, Wednesday may turn out to be an inside day. Now, the Canadian financials also fell apart on Tuesday, and one of the biggest losers was Manulife, and Manulife popped a couple of weeks ago and was holding those gains, which I was surprised about, but here we are. We're back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. Now, the VIX continued to move higher for the S&P 500, for the NASDAQ, and for the Russell 2000 on Tuesday. And of course, we need these particular items to roll over and generate sell signals before the market is going to make any sort of attempt at a rally. Looking at the world of Bitcoin, it's been very volatile over the past couple of days, but here we are. We're still on a sell signal, so no change. And of course, there's no change for any of the crypto-related stocks, which are all still on sell signals. Now, looking at what worked and what didn't work yesterday, well, of course, the TSX 60 gapped lower yesterday. There was a couple of winners. Kinross, in percentage terms, was the big winner, and it is back on a buy signal. That's a very weak buy signal. We're looking for a close above 1608. We closed at 1609. So you may want to sit on that one, but if you've been waiting to get back into Kinross, today is the day. Looking at Hydro One, that was the next big winner on the TSX 60. A nice big update for that stock. What didn't work? Well, the Brookfields were the big losers on the TSX 60. Looking at the TSX Composite, again, we gapped lower yesterday, and Pet Value was the big winner on earnings, and that's quite a reaction to the earnings for that stock. Energy Fuels was the next big winner in percentage terms after making a new low for this move. What didn't work? Well, Aritzia was the big loser, followed by Industrial Alliance, and which rolled over, is back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. Now, there were a lot of gaps filled on Tuesday, and so when we start to look at the U.S. market, you can see the Dow Diamonds filled the gap that was created at the start of January, and so we've given up those gains. The other thing you might have heard yesterday is the market's giving up the gains since Trump was elected. That is true for the big indices that we follow, but the rest of the market gave up those gains a long time ago. What worked on the Dow yesterday? Well, NVIDIA, after making a new low, actually closed the day higher, and it's trading up in the pre-market this morning, so that's giving the market a little bit of hope. United Health was also a big winner yesterday. It's hard to see it on the chart, but in percentage terms, while the rest of the market was falling, like Boeing and 3M, so there's 3M back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. Then looking at the SPY, a new low. We traded below the January lows, so that support is no longer there. We filled the gap from back in November, so those are those gains from when the election results came out. And we're still holding the 578.13 level. You can see that 562.50 is our next target to the downside if the market wants to continue lower from here. Enphase was the big winner, followed by Supermicro after making a new low. So just like NVIDIA. What didn't work? Well, Best Buy fell out of the sky yesterday, and KKR gapped lower. KKR has been on a sell signal since the start of February. Then looking at the NASDAQ 100, and again, here we are filling the gap from the election. We've been trading below $500 for the past couple of days, and we have not broken away from it just yet. So we're still stuck to the $500 level, which of course is a major area of psychological support and resistance. Now, when I say that the rest of the market has already dealt with the election results, there's the election pop back there. You can see that we came down to fill it. We tried to fill it in the middle of November, but it was really in the middle of December that it was actually filled and we broke it. And we've not been able to head back up to those November highs ever since. And so here we are way down here, which is nowhere near the election gap higher. So the rest of the market said goodbye to those election results a long time ago. Now, the company that actually owns the NASDAQ 100 actually gapped lower yesterday and broke through the January lows, and that's Invesco. What worked and didn't work on the NASDAQ 100, MicroStrategy was the big winner. We need a close on Wednesday above $295.41 to give us a buy signal. And then Marvell, like the rest of the chip sector, made a new low and then recovered going into the close. Intel was the big loser. So, yeah, there's one chip stock up, one chip stock down. And then Tesla was the next big loser on the NASDAQ 100. We're holding 260. We got as low as 261.84 yesterday. If we take out yesterday's low, then 250 would certainly be doable. Next up, we'll take a look at the world of commodities. And of course, tariffs can have a dramatic impact on a lot of commodities. Copper is just treading water right now. Gold traded up yesterday. Certainly a possibility of a new buy signal on Wednesday. Not for platinum and certainly not for the price of silver. Looking at crude oil, we made a new low yesterday. We're making another new low in the pre-market this morning. Luckily, the freezing cold weather that's crossing North America right now is putting a bid into natural gas, and that continues to move higher. Unfortunately, with tariffs, we've seen a huge sell-off in the agricultural commodities. We've got corn, soybeans, wheat all hitting new lows on Tuesday. We saw a new low yesterday for hogs. And of course, if China is going to stop importing U.S. Hogs, then that's putting downward pressure on bacon. And that is good for a bacon lover like me. What's not good? Well, we got a bid into cattle yesterday, which traded up. So certainly a possibility of a buy signal on Wednesday. And of course, if lumber is not going to cross the Canadian border into the U.S., that's putting upward pressure on lumber prices at the moment. And of course, if Canadians aren't drinking Florida orange juice anymore, then that has put downward pressure on the frozen concentrated orange juice market. Okay, that is all for this morning. Just looking over my shoulder, the futures have cut their gains in half since we started talking. So there's some of the upward pressure on the futures has come off over the last half hour or so. So yeah, we're still looking for some buying at the open, but not as enthusiastically as we were earlier in the morning. You have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.